Nearly every country, especially the United States, is drowning in debt. The US now owes more than $38 trillion, the highest level in its history. The European Union carries around $14 trillion, and Japan holds over $9 trillion in debt. Even oil-rich nations like Saudi Arabia possess staggering amounts of debt. But here lies a strange paradox. If everyone owes money, then who exactly is owed? Debt has become a fundamental structure of the modern world. Wars, crises, and economic cycles are all built upon this invisible architecture of borrowing. When we look at the lenders, we realize that the world is essentially indebted to itself. Yet this doesn't mean everyone benefits equally from the system. To understand how global debt has reached a level nearly 3 times the size of the world economy, we need to turn back the clock. The concept of national debt emerged during ancient war periods. In 1694, while England was at war with France, it was running out of gold. The monarch promised merchants continuous interest payments based on future taxes in exchange for the gold they provided. The Bank of England was created to manage this system. Thus, the state began spending money it did not yet have, and merchants turned the government's promise into a tradable asset. This was the birth of the modern government bond. France adopted the same cycle, the Dutch improved and expanded it, and the United States later used it to finance its westward expansion. Over time, national debt became a symbol of size and reliability. The true power behind this cycle lies in the financial markets. Beyond government bonds, massive institutions like hedge funds, pension funds, sovereign wealth funds, and central banks determine a country's borrowing capacity. When these institutions lose confidence, money evaporates, interest rates soar, and governments can fall. Democracy may decide who governs, but markets determine how long they stay in power. Central banks don't just manage debt, they create it. When they buy bonds, they generate new money. One institution's debt becomes another institution's asset. Every currency in circulation is essentially backed by some form of recorded debt. In the modern world, money without debt does not exist. This system runs entirely on trust. Investors are not primarily concerned with getting their principal back. What matters is that interest payments continue. For this reason, modern economies have no plan to pay off their debts completely. Governments continuously roll over debt. The real goal is interest. The US will never pay off its $38 trillion debt. Japan has been rolling its debt over for decades, and although its debt exceeds 250% of GDP, its bond yields remain low. Investors don't expect repayment. They trust that new debt will always be issued. That's because government bonds are the most secure assets in the global financial system. Banks use them as collateral, and central banks rely on them for monetary policy. If government debt vanished, the entire global financial system would collapse. For states, debt has effectively replaced money. Governments issue debt, banks multiply it, investors trade it, and citizens become dependent on this monetary system. The line between debtor and creditor grows increasingly blurred. Debt once meant bondage. Today it represents the balance of the system. But when that balance breaks, when trust disappears, we are reminded of what debt truly is.